is the knockout king. Bitch, he is the knockout king. Before this situation, y'all really dragged. Y'all really just hate. Y'all have really talk about. And thank you for the 10,000 views. Thank you for the 10,000 views.
Okay, so the sister of Jeremy Brown, the guy that got knocked off the face of this earth behind putting his hand on Kalisha Hood because her son won't having it. Apparently Jeremy Brown, excuse my French, a bitch ass sister, had something to say, calling him the knockout king after he had thought it was cool to put his hands on a woman. And with a 14-year-old, which if you ask me, a grown man at this point won't have any. She had something to say. I guess she was up in her brother. And I'm with Claudia on that when she said this is not the first time that this ignorant ass family could have did something like that. And I don't believe it is, and it won't be the last. Because obviously they cannot tell him when he was wrong. And it's really whack, because it's like, basically, if y'all up in y'all brother for doing something like that, how are y'all raising y'all daughters? Are y'all raising them in the mind frame of a woman is supposed to stay in a woman's place? Because if y'all think this is cool, like I told one of the guys in the comments, I'm taking note of all the guys that, because y'all are telling me what type of dudes y'all are. Like, I told y'all, whenever I heard guys say a woman should stay in a woman's place, like I told y'all, when I got into it with a guy in a Chinese restaurant, and the first thing when I told him, I said, you skipped me a line and you bumped me when you passed me. And bitch, you better stay in a woman's place. And ain't no woman gonna be talking smack to me. I'm a man. Yeah, beating his chest and shit, Whenever, it's terrible. It's terrible. That's why I cannot stress this enough. I do not march with black people. And I am a black woman. I'm not mixed with nothing. Nothing. People always say, look like I got a little Asian in me. I am black and proud. I am not, and I'm still not marching with y'all. Because it's a double standard. Y'all pick and choose when y'all tell people wrong. Y'all pick and choose when y'all want to stand up for stuff. Y'all pick and choose when y'all do things. And then when shit get real, some of y'all, it didn't have to go that far. And my people this and my people that. It's like, I always say, there are N-words and there are black people. This particular family, they are N-words. They are not black people. Maybe if y'all had told y'all brother when he was wrong a long time ago, maybe he wouldn't be laying in a box. How's that? But let's dive in a little deeper. My name is Jeremy Brown. I thought it was cute to put my hands on a woman. So look where I'm at now. I come from a family that don't tell me when I'm wrong in a lot of situations. So unfortunately, I kept going about life thinking it was cool to do certain things that were just plain wrong, until one day I put my hands on the wrong person and they put me to sleep permanently. Do y'all really think this is cute? Do y'all really think this is cute? Y'all wearing shirts that say Knockout King. Your brother putting his hands on a woman is why he is where he is now. Nothing about this is cute. That's why I say y'all can say what y'all want to say. But some of y'all black people are ignorant. Some of y'all are. When white folks say black people are ignorant, this is the stuff they talking about. This right here. This right here. This right here. And I can say that I'm a black woman. I ain't mixed with nothing. I can say that. When white folks be talking about black people are ignorant, these are the type of people that they are referring to. Nothing is cute about this. If y'all didn't get the memo, it's nothing cute about this. Okay, so here's how I feel about the situation. First and foremost, it's kind of whack that we living in a world where people even think it's okay for a dude to hit a woman. That's number one. It goes to show that he didn't come from a family that told him where he was wrong. And unfortunately, I hate to say it, but his blood is on their hands. A lot of people don't want to admit it, but I understand. So let me tell you something, right? as I get older, I realize more things about my childhood that I couldn't really understand at that time. You know, what was wrong with certain situations, and I couldn't understand why. You know, I'll give you an example, right? And I always bring this up because around the time that the situation was going on, I thought it was just so wrong. And just so, you know, like I have told y'all numerous times about the situation when I was going to that community college, right? And I told y'all how I was fighting the girl, her mama. The girl ran up, got beat up, and her mama jumped in, so they jumped me, right? And I told y'all how her mama, oftentimes when we would be arguing, her mama would be, yeah, what my baby said. And, you know, she cheering it on. Instead of being the adult in the situation and trying to diffuse the situation, she was cheering it on. You see what I'm saying? It goes to show that she did not have the type of family. Even her sisters and them and stuff like that, they were all, yeah, you know, and all this other mess. Instead of telling her, hey, leave people alone. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, oftentimes people don't want to admit it, but it's good to have your people back. But it comes to a certain point where you have to tell them that they are wrong. Just like when we got into it in the store that time. You know, her mom was cheering her on. You know, her mom ended up getting in a wheelchair, right? Her mom always been sick, even back in high school, right? Sidebar, if you had a lot of hell going to school in high school, try not to go to a local community college just in the same area that you went to that same high school, because a lot of those people end up at that same community college. I always tell people that. I can't stress this enough. But anyway, nonetheless, you know, when her mama got in a wheelchair, she could not help her fight anymore. So instead of her just telling people, you know what, like I told her mama that time, the reason why your health is deteriorating like that because you are paying the karma for your daughter's actions. And she really didn't like that. You see what I'm saying? A lot of people don't want to admit it, but it comes back. Karma comes back in love, health, death, and wealth. Okay, I know my death may sound like death of your ears, but I mean death like your demise. I have a speech impediment. But anyway, nonetheless, you have to tell your family when you're wrong, when they are wrong. Just like I gave y'all that example. Because a lot of the times, you know, now look, y'all made fun of me because I was going to community college taking a public bus. Now look, I graduated, I transferred my credits to a university, graduated from the university, going to grad school. By this time next year, I'll be done, almost done, not done. I'll be almost done with my master's by this time next year. And up until this point, they are still on the welfare, last I checked. Still out the hood. You see what I'm saying? Y'all made fun of me. You see how God bypassed them. You see what I'm saying? Like, well, I'm not going to say, I take that back, Lord. I'm sorry. I take that back. I can't say what you're doing. I cannot talk on what you are doing. I apologize. What I meant was, I'm going to say it like this. God will often take the person that you laugh at going to school and clown and mock. And when God said in his word, he'll make your enemies your footstool, he meant that. That's a better way to put that. God, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I did not mean it that way. I can't speak on what you're doing in another person's life. I apologize. I meant it a different way. Okay, so I had to correct myself. I talk to God all the time. But anyway, so nonetheless, love you. Okay. So, yeah. So, what I meant was God will take the person that you laugh at all the time and mock, and he will use that person to show you, you know, what he can do in a person's life. That's the way I meant it. Okay. So, with that being said, this fella right here, he did not come from the type of family that tells him when he was wrong. And a lot of the times when you come from those right or wrong families, like I just gave you the example, a lot of the times, you know, I put it to you like this, like I had to tell my cousin before. Tell your daughter when she is wrong, when she goes to school and she picks with people and stuff like that, because she will always say, ain't nobody gonna F with my baby, ain't nobody gonna this, ain't nobody that. But the thing is, you gotta remember, you're not going to be around all the time. Just like you crazy about your baby and you ain't going to play about your baby. It's other mamas out here that ain't going to play about theirs either. Okay? So you got to remember that when y'all sending these kids to school and even community college, whatever. You need to give them the tools that they need to be ready to go out into the world. Because, unfortunately, if you don't tell your family when they are wrong, it's going to be another Jeremy in the world. You know what I'm saying? Jeremy that had germs. Obviously, when I say germs, meaning he wasn't brought up right. It's really sad and pathetic that, y'all got pissed off with Funky when they called him the Knockout King. The family called him the Knockout King. I'm guessing that's probably was his little whack ass candlelight visual that they had for him or whatever. When the reason why I say whack ass, because instead of them just saying, I think y'all should just came out and say, you know what, that's my brother, I love him, but he was wrong. Even in death, you still can love somebody and still admit that they are wrong. We are living in a world where, like Funky said, y'all got pissed off when he said because he's the Knockout King, that's why he dead. Y'all got pissed off. And that's one thing Claudia said. I love that little trio on TGIF. I just love them to pieces. I tell y'all when some stuff I don't agree on. I tell y'all some stuff I agree on. But I love them. I think they chemistry. And you could tell they get on each other's nerves sometimes. But you could tell the love is really genuine there. You could tell. But the thing is, they got pissed off. I think y'all just want a reason to be pissed off with them sometimes. Because they told the truth. Like I told y'all when I got into it with that guy in the N-word in the Chinese restaurant. There is black people and there is N-words. There are N-words. That's true. That's true. You get what I'm saying? Like, I hope y'all, I'm at my night job. I hope I don't get rolled up because I forgot my vest. And I'm out here real. I'm so scared. And that's probably what that girl was trying to tell me in the window. She kept pointing to her shirt. I'm saying to myself, what's she, Cause see, I don't care much for her because she friends with that other girl that I don't care much for. Y'all know, she did nothing to me, but I believe in guilty by association. And I said to myself, what's she, how somebody trying to talk to you, but you're like, why the hell you talking to me? But that's probably what she was trying to tell me. Your vest. Yeah, I was running like 2 minutes late. I was trying to hurry up, get back here. Because I know, but see, I don't think they're going to make a big deal out of that. Because it's times when people be 30 minutes, 40. It's been a time when a girl was an hour and 30 minutes late relieving me. A whole hour and 30 minutes, she ain't call, ain't text, ain't send a blimp, not a kite, nothing. Come on now. Now, I know y'all not going to trip about no 2 minutes. Come on now. We ain't going to do that. But I don't know. Because I don't know. I heard you can get rolled up for not having your vest. I just ain't got time. I just don't have time. But anyway. So, yeah. Just you got to tell your people when you're wrong. But see, the thing is, like I say, growing up, I had the type of dudes that they would tell me things. Now, I didn't always agree with their method of doing things, but I'm glad that they would tell me certain things because, I told y'all growing up, I used to fight a lot. I mean, a lot. I used to get suspended sometime. 10 days, come back to school, fight again. 10 more days, come back to school, fight again. 10 more days, like, no cap. Like, when I tell people that, they'll always think I'm lying. Like, no way, not you. Like, people never believe me. But see, like someone once told me, that's a good thing they don't believe you because that goes to show that God has, worked wonders in your life. They don't even see that. They can't even see that in you. They can't even see that in you. Like, but the thing is, I own my past. Well, if I did it, I did it. If I didn't do it, I ain't do it. You know what I'm saying? I'm a woman about it. Even my childhood mistakes. People never, But see, the thing is, I'll give you an example. Something that I said I'm going to do differently when it comes to my children. Right? It was a girl, long story short, that I went to school with. You'll see how this relates to Jeremy. And it was a girl that I went to school with. And when I came out the beauty supply store, she was sitting in the car with her boyfriend that I went to alternative school with. And this is the same girl that I told y'all about in the bus story time. This is her twin sister. So one time we was in class and I told her, because they will always, whenever you get into it with one, they always was the type that the other one would question you about it. They were the type of family that wrong or right, they'll tell you in a minute, wrong or right, that's still my people, right? So one time I told him, I said, your cousin started with me. She was like, no, she didn't. My cousin don't start with nobody. Because I told y'all in the bus story time. Confused about the story, go back to the bus story time. I gave y'all the whole rundown of the twin sister, how me and the twin sister got into it. I gave y'all the whole rundown. So, long story short, she was like, no, she didn't. My cousin, da-da-da-da. My sister, da-da-da. You know, they had a golden rule. If you got a problem with one, you got a problem with all. One swing, all swing. That's how them people roll, right? They ain't give a F-U-C-K. One will tell you swing first, ask questions later. Like, that's how they did, right? That's how they was giving it up. So, confused, go back to the story time. But boom. So I say, your cousin started with me, you know, da-da-da. No, she didn't, whatever. So boom. So she was like, so we had words or whatever. So long story short, one day she was walking and she didn't know her other cousin was on the other side of me. Like the other side of the little wall thing. The way the school was built was weird. But anyway, you could come around the corner. Like a lot of the time when people wanted to sneak somebody, the best way to do it was like in the locker room behind that little corner because they wouldn't see you standing there. So you better be on your P's and Q's if you got enemies. I was one of them, but it was a couple other girls that, you know, they got swung on a couple of times. But back then, I had a couple of good Judies, but we grew apart. But anyway, so nonetheless, it was me and another girl. Then it was her and her crew, which we was always outnumbered because it was a lot of them. But for the most part, Light Bright, the one that I told you turned out to be a stripper. One thing I can say about her, if she felt like people were walking up on me, she gonna be standing right there. And I will always tell her, like, it's like 12 of them, and it's only like 3 of us because we couldn't count on the brown skin girl. I can say brown skin because I'm brown. I'm caramel. Some people say brown skin, but whatever. We couldn't count on her because she, you know. So we always knew it was 3 of us, but to us it was always 2 of us, if that made sense. So I would say we outnumbered. She said, so what? We was swinging, I'm swinging, period. You know. And for the most part, one time she did. I was shocked when that guy had pulled on me and stuff. She came up right behind him and put him in a head, whatever you call it, a little headlock thing. I was surprised that she would pound it on him. I said, look at you, got my back. But anyway, nonetheless, so she turned out to be a fraud. I'll tell y'all that story. You gonna hear her come up a lot in my story times because she was back in the day. You gonna hear her often when it come up. But anyway, more of the story. The girl walked up when her cousin was picking. So she walked up when her cousin was picking. So after that, I didn't have no more problems out of this twin sister because she always said that her cousin did not pick. She always said they did not pick. So when she saw that, I said, see, now you see that. But you got your people back. You need to tell them when they are wrong. So she was like, okay, and I'm going to tell my people when I'm wrong, but just not in front of you. You see what I'm saying? And that's the way you're supposed to do it, right? So you'll see how this go back to the Chinese store. So after that situation, I didn't have no more problem out of this twin sister, right? Even when her people were bucked, she wouldn't buck no more, right? So I remember one particular time, the girl best friend was like, look, I don't F with bullies. I like y'all, but I'm not about to roll with the bullies. It's just not who I am, right? So, nonetheless, I was coming out to the Chinese restaurant with my peoples. You'll see how I brought this up. And this twin sister that I just told y'all about, she was sitting in the car with her boyfriend. So, she had spoke, and I didn't speak back. But I told her, I said, bitch, don't talk to me. Don't ever talk to me. You know I don't fool with y'all. Don't talk to me, bro. You trying to be funny. So she was like, I'm trying to be nice. I'm trying to be nice, okay? I said, ain't no need. Y'all been giving me hell since what? Middle school? No, ain't no need. So my dudes, she gonna say, the girl trying to be nice. She's trying to be nice. Why not speak back? So I said, Mom, why would you do that? She said, why would I do it? I said, why would you say that in front of that girl? Mom, why would you do that? You just basically called me out in front of this girl. Why would you do that? And like I told her, I said, do you know who that is? No, who is it? I said, you don't even know who that is. Why you telling me I'm obligated to acknowledge that girl? Well, who is it? Well, who is it? I said, it's the same girl. I named a family. Once I named a family, I said, she a member of that family. She was like, oh, I didn't know. I said, there you go. There you go. You always calling me out in front of other people. That's why people laughed at me. They mama would have never did that. They mama would have never did that. They wouldn't have gave me the satisfaction. You always doing that. So she got mad, you know. Well, I didn't know. I said, you supposed to pull me to the side or wait till we get back in the car. You don't do that right in front of them like that. You don't do that. You didn't even know who the girl was. Why you taking up for? So we argued the whole way home. I was upset about that because their mama would have never did that. But see, more of the story, as you could tell, I didn't come from the type of people that enabled me. They know I did not agree with their methods of doing things. Some family members I don't talk to. I told y'all, I have an aunt that reached out to my people actually this weekend. A lot of this particular group of, a lot of people on my pappy side are from New York, right? A lot of them. So long story short, that's going to be a story time within itself. She reached out to my people because I told y'all a couple months ago, I had a aunt that came down to visit from Maryland. So she came down from Maryland and she was trying to nonetheless, she was talking or whatever. I told you I really didn't want to talk to them for real. I really wasn't interested, but I told my dudes I'll come because they hadn't seen me in a while since my pappy had passed away. So they hadn't seen me in a while, so they wanted to see me. So, I was giving them the update, the usual, graduated college. They already knew this, but, it's better when you see somebody in person, whatever. So, boom. I didn't agree with how they did my dudes when my pappy passed away. I didn't like, how when it's a funeral, I didn't like the way they was giving it up. I just didn't like the way they did it, like she was a wife. Of course she gonna have to say so. She wasn't a girlfriend. She just wasn't a baby mama. She was a wife. Of course she's gonna have a say so in everything, basically. She has a say so in everything. I just didn't like the way they was giving it up. I didn't like the way they did me when I was a hothead growing up. I just think they could have did better, But nonetheless, the reason why I brought that up was, the thing is, I didn't come from those particular type of people. Well, not why I'm saying particular type of people, but I didn't come from the type of people that enabled me. Like, a lot of them on that side, they had, like, when I was telling them about me working for the government, a lot of them got them, like this particular aunt I told y'all about in Maryland. They are very educated people. Even with the way I talk, they still piss me off sometimes because they know I've always had this speech impediment. They know it was even worse when I was little, so they'll, check me on my little words and stuff, and it just pisses me off. This particular aunt, very proper. I mean, very smart. I mean, she sued the hell out of the government twice, this particular sector, and she won. And when I first heard about it, I didn't even know it was possible to sue them people like that. She sued the hell out of them twice. Like, they are very proper people, very proper. So, just little stuff, and they know that speech problem has been there. My mama got it. That little speech problem. Like, a lot of the women on my mama's side of the family had that little speech problem. I don't know what it is, So, nonetheless, very proper people. So, it's just little stuff I told. So, nonetheless, I have since I've been older, I have a couple of family members that have tried to reach out throughout the years. And I just don't want to be bothered. Because I don't agree with certain methods that they did, that they took. Certain family members, I just don't want, I just never. Never. Like, they went about it all wrong. All wrong. Like, I'm not even considering having a conversation. Like, this particular aunt, I didn't mind. My dude said she wanted me to come over. The other one, I don't really care to talk to. It was another aunt that reached out on my mama's side with two of them. I had one aunt that tried to reach out, and she just, no. I don't, that's not happening. I mean, I've had multiple people that, it's just, I know, like my dude said, the one I told you about in New York, she used to be my favorite aunt. And it's crazy because the one from Maryland, she used to be the one that really, all on really, I ain't gonna say spoiled me, but a lot of people say I was spoiled, but I don't think I was spoiled. I was the only child, but that don't mean nothing. I had my own room, I had my own bathroom, but I don't consider it spoiled. It depends on what you define as spoiled. Like my cousin always said I was sheltered. I don't think I was sheltered. But nonetheless, just certain things I don't agree with, that how they handle certain situations. But at the end of the day, certain family members, I knew they meant well. You see what I'm saying? But like people always tell me, they did something right for you to be where you are now. Even after I'm done with my master's, I'm going back for my doctorates. So they did something right, but it's just, I don't agree with, like I just gave you the example in the way my dudes had it. Like, I didn't agree with that. I didn't agree with that. But one thing I have noticed, I don't know about nobody else, and I'm going to wrap this up, but I don't know about nobody else, but one thing I have noticed, the families that stick together even when they are wrong, I noticed they are a big group of nobody, like nothings, if that makes sense. Like, a lot of them, like the family I told you about with the Chinese restaurant, the bus story time people, when I tell you, the reason why this was a good segue to bring them up, because when I tell you, a lot of them, I hate to say it this way, a lot of them have dropped, if you know what I mean, because you had one of them that robbed somebody, was trying to rob somebody, and in the process of him trying to rob somebody, the girl ended up pow-powing on him. That was one on. You had another one that used to do a lot of credit card scams. Then you had another one, like, and it's just the list goes on. Like, he was doing a lot of credit card scams, and then the people found out who they was and they murked them. Then you had another one that had got murked in prison. Like, when I tell you, it's a lot of them that drop. Like, they posted a picture on social media of a lot of the guys that I went to school with that was their family, saying, who was in prison, who was locked up, like, and then they talking about free the fam, and like they proud of this and all this, and roses for the people that the lost soldiers and all this other mess. Like, when I tell you, a lot of them that drop, and in that caption, it reminded me so much of this chick right here that's talking about her loser of a brother, talking about knockout king. Like, that's something to be proud of. You, first of all, your brother, let me tell you something, your brother was not no honorable man. And I don't care if you're listening or not. Your brother was not no honorable man. Like, he was not nobody to be proud of. He was not nobody that, he was not no soldier. I don't know what's with y'all thinking y'all propping y'all people up even when they wrong. And because y'all did not tell y'all people when they was wrong, that's why he is gone now. I'm with Funky on that. I'm with Funky on that, because the thing is, your brother was not beating on a man. Your brother was beating on a woman. That's a loser right there. And then he's saying that, say one more word or I'ma knock you out. Like, you proud of this. You proud of this. Your brother was a woman beater. He was nobody to be proud of. Your mother raised a loser. I don't care if he was your half brother, whoever raised him, your mother raised a loser. He was a loser. He was a loser. He was nobody to be proud of. He was not somebody that I would procreate with. He was not somebody that I would open my womb to. He was not somebody that I would lay down with. He was not somebody that I would give my phone number to. He was a loser. He hits women. I told y'all. I'm with them on that. I told y'all about the dude the N-word that I was in the Chinese restaurant and he spit in my face. I don't know what's with y'all, dude. Some of these people, some of these, you know, it's terrible. And see, the thing is, a lot of people say, well, he didn't have to die. He didn't have to die. The thing is, let me tell you something. When that N-word spit in my face, I spit back at him. I threw chairs at him, and I slammed my truck into his truck twice. I mean, I literally cut him off in traffic, put in drive, put my car in drive, put it in reverse, gave it a little gas, then slammed into it again. I heard a woman in traffic say, oh my God, look what she doing, look what she doing. I wasn't worried about that. This N-word just spit in my face. When I picked up a chair, he said, you wouldn't dare pick up a chair. That's taking stuff too far. You literally walked up to me, leaned in, and spit in my face. That wasn't taking stuff too far? Y'all N-words gonna learn that y'all need to stop getting rowdy with women. Because it's not like the old days no more. People not taking that stuff like they used to. And I told y'all, after that situation, that's what made me invest in a piece of steel. Because even the cop told me, the cop told me, I said, if I had a pow, I would have put him to rest. And that was my good word. You see what I'm saying? If I had one, like the cop told me, if you did, you would have been in prison. Because just because somebody spits on you, you cannot foul off on them. He said, I'm bleeping out words because I know you too funny. He said, you cannot do that just because somebody did that. You cannot do that. He said, now, if he would have hit you, then that's what stand your ground come in at. And he told me, he said, long as it's registered, that's all I can tell you. But like I told him, I said, what if I didn't have one? And he had did that. What if the Chinese people didn't step in? He said, well, you would have been out back if ain't nobody called us. So in that moment, that's what made me say, you know what? I need to invest in something. Because some of these N-words are bold. And Jeremy was one of them. Jeremy was one of them. He was one of those people that are bold. And he met his match. So, no, I don't feel bad for him. He got what he deserved. And his sister, if y'all raising up y'all boys, y'all sons, and y'all nephews to do the same thing that Jeremy did, this is not going to be the last time. I can assure you that. Stop being a family that enables. I just gave y'all 3 examples. I gave the example of the girl from community college. Her mama didn't tell her when she was wrong. I gave the example of the family that I grew up with, that I always used to get into with them people. They never told each other when they were wrong. And then you got Jeremy right here. I'm giving y'all 3 good examples. Tell your people when they are wrong, so you can avoid situations like this. And that's all I got to say.